Okay, class, today's lesson in Dylanology concerns the poem Dear Landlord. Dear Landlord, Landlord is critic from She's Your Lover Now. The pawnbroker roared, pawnbroker being the Communist Party, using Dylan as a pawn in his early career. And so did the landlord. Roared, they both roared. The critic and this Communist Party, the left-wing critics. They roared their approval for Bob Dylan. So landlord, so this is dear left-wing critic. Please don't put a price on my soul. Don't put a price. Don't make it so people want to come after me because of my soul, my poetry about blacks. You'll find a recurrent theme throughout this poem of racism and neo-Confederacy. So, dear landlord, please don't put a price on my soul. Don't write a book about my poetry which concerns blacks. My burden is heavy. Once again, it's another word, burden, that has to do with race. The white man's burden was the need to lift up the peoples of the countries they colonialized with road schools and roads, and also Cecil roads. Okay, so my burden is heavy. Dylan's thoughts about lifting up blacks can be very difficult. My dreams are beyond control. My aspirations for blacks are beyond control, are beyond slavery. I want to give them a one-way ticket back to Africa, like George Lincoln Rockwell did, one of his heroes, believe it or not. So you have when that steamboat whistle blows, when the South will rise again. I'll give you all I got. I'll give you all. I'll give you all I got to give. Okay, so what do we have? We have soul. We have control. We have burden. We have steamboat. And we have you all. I'll give you all I got to give. I'll blow your head off with my Confederate flintlock musket. And I do hope you receive it well, and you're going to be on the receiving end of a lot of gunfire, depending on the way you feel that you live. I don't know what that means. Kid, Dear landlord, please heed these words that I speak. Listen very carefully to what I say. I know you suffered much. I know you got busted at Michigan State, facing 30 years minimum mandatory for just selling 5 joints and having some traces of pot in my pocket, which they vacuumed. I know you suffered much, but in this you were not so unique. But in the drug world, back then, this was par for the course. Now, all of us might work too hard to have it too fast and too much. Now, you're going to try and make a lot of money off by telling people what my poetry is about, right? Real quickly, first shot. And anyone can fill his life up with things, and anyone can waste his life and with poems that he can see on their superficial level, but cannot touch on their subcontextual level. Dear landlord, oh yeah. Dear landlord, please don't dismiss my case. Don't give up on trying to understand my poetry. Dismiss my case. Don't, as your case was dismissed in Michigan back in 1965. Dismiss my case. I'm not about to argue. I'm not about to return to writing message songs. I'm not about to move to no other place. I'm not about to change my place on the political spectrum, which is on the far right. Now, each of us has his own special gift. Now, you have a gift for interpreting poetry. I have a gift for writing it. And you know this was meant to be true. And it's a God-given gift. Somebody meant it, a higher power. And if you don't underestimate me, I won't underestimate you. So that's the story. I think I covered it all this time. Don't blame me for the sub-content. I showed you each, you know what I mean. I showed you each word and how it refers back to the South, to the Confederacy, to the white man's burden. That's not an accident.